Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
"60 degrees, clear skies here in London." Now down to the pitch. Tony Siragusa. Goose.
Thanks, Kenny. You know, I've seen every single jersey from every NFL team represented here at Wembley Stadium. This place is electric. This is not like a regular season game. This is more like a Super Bowl atmosphere. But the one question I have no idea who these fans are going to be rooting for today in this game.
Well, Goose, both teams received rousing ovations as they hit the field moments ago. The Bears have won the toss. It is just after noon in Chicago, just after 1 p.m. in Tampa, just after 6 p.m. here in London as Michael Kanan gets things started. And the kickoff out of bounds. No chance for a return from Devin Hester, so this will
be placed 35 yards from the spot of the kick. Chicago's ball, first down.
This will set up terrific field position for Jay Cutler and the Bears. They will start from their own 40, as you heard from referee Tony Correnti.
And Jay Cutler has been courageous the last couple of weeks as his offensive line gets shifted around, been making some great plays, throwing the ball, hanging in there, working behind this makeshift offensive line the Bears have struggled through the first 6 games with, trying to get that solidified.
On first down, the handoff to Matt Forte. Leads the NFL in yards from scrimmage. Rookie out of Iowa, Adrian Claiborne makes the tackle, gain of just 1.
And when you talk about the Bears offense, it's really, what is this offensive line capable of doing? There's going to be some more changes in the lineup here this afternoon. Carried over Lance Lewis out at tackle, Chris Spencer. The way to accomplish that is to do what you just did right there. Lean on Matt Forte. Let him run the ball. Get him involved in the screen game.
I think that's exactly what we're going to be seeing early, Darryl. Both of these teams trying to establish the run and setting up the pass.
On 2nd and 9, Cutler throws for the first time, complete to Forte, who leads the Bears in receiving as well as rushing. Geno Hayes, the first Buck, in on the tackle, gain of 2, so 3rd down and 7 upcoming for the Bears.
And this is a Tampa Bay defense fresh off of a great game against the New Orleans Saints. They took the ball away 4 times, 3 interceptions, a good defensive line that can get pressure. They were really jumping that timing passing game of the New Orleans Saints, and the Bears run a timing game. If they can recognize formation and personnel, they might take some chances on some interceptions.
3rd down and 7. Bears must get to midfield for a first down. Cutler can't find anyone. Now he throws downfield. The pass too high, intended for Johnny Knox. So the Bears on their first possession go 3 and out.
Jay Cutler with the pressure, moves around, extends this. Now what you would expect is one of his receivers to break deep. Everybody started to work back. Jay Cutler extends this play. Now right here, I think he wanted Johnny Knox to get vertical on that play. Johnny Knox was working back towards Jay Cutler.
Adam Podles waiting back at his 30. Preston Parker back deep for the Bucs. Parker takes it out to 12. Breaks away from the first. Couple of Bears downfield, 3-yard return. Out to the 15, 44-yard punt. Corey Graham made the tackle, so here's Josh Freeman leading the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense out for the first time.
Coming off of a nice game last week against the Saints and having the opportunity to talk to Josh Freeman, a player who right now is starting to get comfortable in the role. He said he's got to make those better decisions about when to take the shot down the field, when to check it down. But we had him a couple weeks ago. We asked him about his aggressive decision-making. He said, absolutely, I'm getting more and more comfortable in this offense week to week.
This is Ernest Graham, who had a big game last week. Buccaneers are without LeGarrette Blount, their leading rusher, for the 2nd straight week, and Graham Able to gain 9 on first down.
No real surprise there. Ernest Graham gets the start for LeGarrette Blount, and Josh Freeman calls him the glue that holds this offense together, and just kind of jumps in the lineup last week. No big deal. I'll just run for over 100 yards, and he can do that because of this offensive line here. Keep your eyes on number 75, Davin Joseph. Every defensive player from the Bears we talked to wonders why he's not mentioned with the elite guards in the NFC.
DeMar Dotson in as an extra blocker. Off the play fake. Freeman with loads of time. And the pass is nearly picked off by Brian Urlacher, intended for Aurelius Ben.
When you play linebacker for the Bears, you have to be athletic. And Brian Urlacher is one of the most athletic guys you're going to find. Watch him on this play. Watch him trail. Now, what he has to do, he has to get depth, read the quarterback's eyes. He's going to force these throws to be elevated. If you don't get that ball up in the air.
Formation, number 69 on the line of scrimmage did not report. His penalty has been declined. The result of the play, third down.
Late flag was thrown. We mentioned DeMar Dotson was in as an extra blocker, never reported to the officials.
Well, you got to go in and let those officials know, and that's a big mistake by DeMar Dotson, because that's one of the things that Raheem Morris is going to tell him to do on that play. So maybe a little bit of nerves for a young guy here on this stage in London.
Only the Raiders have committed more penalties this season than the Bucs. Now third down and 1. Toss to Craig Lumpkin. And Lumpkin picks up a Buccaneers first down, gain of 5.
Well, this is not the same Chicago Bears defense that Bears fans have been used to. This team, for some reason this year, having some difficulty with the run fits. They're not stopping the run as well as they have in the past. They're not taking the ball away as well as they have in the past. But the big thing is the big play. And one of the reasons they've had a lot of change in the safety position, and we've got change again. Chris Harris gets the start for Major Wright this week after losing out to Major Wright last week.
So one guy also to keep an eye on at the top of your screen, number 90, Julius Peppers. In warm-ups, looked like he was not 100% today. So
Ravens pass is dropped by Desmond Briscoe.
Julius Peppers going against Donald Penn. Does a nice job of getting off right here with a club to the inside afterwards. Donald Penn gets caught, catches him off his feet. Tell you what, if he's not 100% and he's rushing like that, Tampa's in for a long day.
He's one of those rare combinations, Tony.
Absolutely.
He's got that speed and power, so you sit back and worry about the speed. He gets you on your heels and he knocks you by like he did to Donald Penn.
And Donald Penn, Pro Bowler also.
Peppers has had some big games against Tampa Bay throughout his career. Here's Graham. Graham up the middle. Out across the 32-yard line. Raheem Morris, Buccaneers head coach, told us on Thursday Peppers always seems to get his hand on the ball at our stadium. That's one of the reasons why we moved the game to London. This is a home game for the Bucs.
Well, it's hard to tell that right now. Chicago's got a big fan base over here as well.
Bucs designated as the home team. They will play only 7 games in Tampa during the regular season. Bears went 3 and out on their first series. Third down and 7 for Tampa Bay. Bucs must get to the 39. Freeman with time, and the pass intended for the tight end, Kellen Winslow.
And you got to make a completion on that play right there. They had Kellen Winslow break open on the corner route. Going to work up the field and get to the outside. You can't miss these opportunities. It's a chance for some big yards right there for the Buccaneers.
So Josh Freeman starts the game 0 for 3. Devin Hester, NFL record 11 career punt return touchdowns. Back deep for the Bears. Takes it at the 15-yard line. A return of just 4. Corey Lynch downfield to make the tackle. A 52-yard punt. No score early first quarter in London.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
We can still get rid of the thing at that.
The NFL has sent 2 teams to London. 5 consecutive Octobers. Buccaneers, first team to come a second time. They lost to the Patriots Back in 2009, 35-7. Second offensive series for Jay Cutler. Now the Bears, they start from the 20-yard line as Forte able to stay on his feet and takes it out to the 24-yard line for a gain of 4.
When you get up next to Matt Forte, you don't realize how big he is until you're right next to him. And then to watch him run, and I think it's more because you've seen what he can do. He's got great feet, great vision, but I remember the first time I got him next to him, how big he is. And it's amazing to try and make that correlation. And a big guy's got such great feet. You saw right there, the little jump cut inside. He turns a 2 to 3 yard loss into a 3 to 4 yard gain.
Forte has accounted for 46% of the Bears' offense so far this season. Here is Forte again, turns the corner and picks up a first down. Finally, forced out of bounds by Sean Jones at the 45-yard line. Forte gains 22.
You can't preach enough to young kids about patience as a running back. Watch Matt Forte here. There's really nothing here at the beginning of this play. It's awful. It's kind of defended well by the Bucs and blocked poorly by the Bears, but just having that patience, getting people to commit out of their spot and then getting to the edge. Patience as a running back is one of those great instincts that I think more people are born with than you can learn.
Tell you what, Chris Spencer, the right guard, did a great job on the pull around to seal that outside corner.
First down, Cutler's pass intended for Roy Williams. There is a flag. Rondé Barber on the coverage.
Pass interference, defense number 20. Hook and turn the receiver. The ball be placed spot on the foul, automatic first down.
This is a matchup that Jay Cutler is going to be looking for. Any receiver on Rondé Barber on the outside, true one-on-one. You see Rondé right there, pretty good skills getting out of his break, eyes back on the quarterback. But I think that the Bears really like that matchup when they catch true one-on-ones outside against Rondé.
You got another one down at the bottom of your screen right here.
Williams and Barber again. Bears gain 14 yards on the penalty. Cutler's pass is caught by Hester at the Tampa Bay 32-yard line. Devin Hester gains 9 to keep to lead the tackle.
He continues to improve as a wide receiver in the NFL. He made his mark as a return guy, and there's a lot of subtleties that go with playing the position, understanding what your route does in the grand scheme of the play, being able to run rubs and pick guys off and free other people up. Devin Hester is starting to learn that. We all knew he had great hands. We know he's got great breakaway speed, but he's starting to learn the little things.
2 tight ends in for the Bears. Second down and 1. Hand off to Forte. And Forte picks up another first down and more. He is inside the 10 and will take it in for a Bears touchdown, 32 yards.
That's the whole package right there. We talked about the patience before. Now just the vision and the ability to see people coming out of your peripheral and being able to jump. I mean, again, the play doesn't look all that great at the start. They get the seal. They get your pullers caught up to the outside, but there's the patience. And now watch the vision. Good job by Roy Williams downfield getting the block. Here comes Tyler Klutz right there at the very end to finish off the last Buck defender.
Second rushing touchdown of the season for Matt Forte. Robbie Gould adds the extra point. The Bears strike first in London.
This game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Back in London, Matt Forte, 32-yard touchdown run, 7-0 Chicago.
All Matt Forte. We talked about at the top, it's going to be based on what Chicago's offensive line is able to handle. And, boy, I tell you what, be sure to show you that if you want to lean on him for an entire drive, you're more than welcome to do that.
Game on Fox is sponsored by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. By Nissan. Innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation for all. And by Verizon 4G LTE. America's fastest, most reliable 4G network.
Well, Well, the original Wembley Stadium, built in 1923, demolished in 2003. The new Wembley opened in 2007 on the same site. And this is the 5th NFL game. All started with the Giants and the Dolphins back in October of 2007. Buccaneers start from their own 20. Freeman swings it out to Graham. He stumbles and loses a yard.
All right, let's go back and take a look at this touchdown by Matt Forte. On the left-hand side here, defensive end, you have Michael Bennett. Now he has one tight end outside him. On the other side, Matt Spaeth is going to come across the formation and set up outside him. Now, Michael Bennett needs to move outside. As a defensive end, you never let there be two tight ends outside you. This softens the corner for Matt Forte, and that is why they scored the touchdown on this play.
Forte took it in from 32 yards out. His counterpart on the Tampa Bay side, Ernest Graham, injured on that last play, and the Bucs already are without LeGarrette Blount.
And that's a big loss. We talked about what Josh Freeman said. He's the glue that holds the offense together. He does anything you ask him to do for the benefit of the team. And now you're going to put in somebody young that's going to have to step up and play a big role today if this is a serious injury. Little swing pass to the outside. And it looks like something happened before he even had contact. Watch him just kind of give right there.
There's Blount. Ernest Graham off to the Bucs locker room. Craig Lumpkin only 5 carries this season in the backfield. Second down and 12. This is Lumpkin, and he is stuffed by Israel Idonije.
Well, if Greg Lumpkin wants to go and get some yards today, he cannot go and stop right on the line of scrimmage against his Bears defensive line. Here's Ernest Graham going in. Darryl, doesn't look good.
No, it's and that's a big loss. He's one of those guys that you never really appreciate until he's out of your lineup, and he fills so many roles. And this is going to be tough. Now, what Josh Freeman has to do here, now he can't press. He has to learn the lesson that he learned in San Francisco. Don't start to press and do things that'll get your team in trouble.
48-3 loss to the Niners 2 weeks ago. Pass is caught by Preston Parker, but he is stopped a yard shy of the marker. Gain of 11. Buccaneers forced to punt for the second time.
I know, Darryl, you talked about it earlier. Ryan Urlacher, you know, he shows blitz up on the line of scrimmage, gets all the way back into coverage. If he doesn't come out there and stop that tackle right there, they're going for a first down. They'll have the first down.
Nice snap. Good job by Kanan.
Great kick after that, too.
Angled towards the sideline. Hester does not have a good angle. Cuts towards the inside of the field and is down at the 32-yard line. 57-yard punt by Kanan. 18 on the return. More bad news for the Bucs. Fullback Eric Lorig injured during that Bears punt return.
Right now, there's only one healthy running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers left.
And that's Craig Lumpkin. Bears start from their own 31-yard line. This is Forte, who has the Chicago touchdown. Brian Price makes the tackle. Gain of 6.
It's hard to see what happens to Eric Lorig on this play. He's going to be number 44. Watch him coming into the bottom of your screen right here as he comes up to make the play. He's going to get caught between 2 players, and he immediately grabs for his right arm. And sometimes you'll get a pinched nerve in your neck and you get that shooting pain down your arm. He was able to walk off the field.
And Darryl, Brian Price, who made that last tackle on Forte. Price now shaken up. They've already lost Ernest Graham, their starting running back today. Eric Lorig during that punt return. And now starting defensive tackle Brian Price. There's Craig Lumpkin, the only remaining healthy running back on the Bucs sideline. So now Price heading over to the Bucs sideline as well. Well, last night, Albert Pujols with a historic night. 3 home runs in Game 3 of the World Series, matching Babe Ruth and Reggie Jackson. Tonight on Fox, Game 4. Cardinals lead the Rangers 2-1. Edwin Jackson and Derek Holland, the pitching matchup tonight. Game 4 of the World Series with the St. Louis Cardinals leading the Texas Rangers 2-1 right here on Fox. Second down and 4. Dane Sanzenbacher in motion. Toss to Forte. And that Forte has another Bears first down out across midfield. Sean Jones finally brought him down, a game of 14.
Boy, they are really working the edges on this Tampa Bay defense. I mean, all their big plays have been on the edge. Kellen Davis out here, big physical tight end. He gets the initial seal. You get your tackle out and around. Roy Williams again coming down inside, getting a block. They are getting onto the edge of Tampa Bay's defense very quickly.
Forte with 79 yards on 6 carries, replaced in the backfield by longtime Dallas Cowboy Marion Barber. Another ex-Cowboy, Roy Williams, in motion from the Bucs 49. Cutler looking to throw. He fires downfield. It's bobbled and dropped by Williams.
This is Roy Williams' bread and butter play. It's the deep in route. He's been in Mike Martz's system up in Detroit in 2006. This is the staple, number 11. It's a two-man route, max protection, hard play action. You push the seam on the inside, you bring that in route right in behind it. And Roy has made a bunch of these catches, and you can see him pull his eyes up to try and find Adam Hayward before he's got that ball secure.
Perfect throw by Jay Cutler, right where it needs to be.
Now Hester split out to the right on second down. Hester comes in motion into the backfield off the fake end around. The screen intended for Barber, picked off. Tenard Jackson playing only his second game for the Bucs this season, and an interception in his season debut last week after he was reinstated by the commissioner, and Jackson returns it 42 yards.
I don't know how he does this. You know, last week and then follows it up this week again. I mean, with an interception after being out for over a year, but Marion Barber, you got to make this catch. You just got to make the catch. It gets deflected, it goes up in the air. It's going to be a difficult catch, but you got to make that catch on the screen. I watched Tenard Jackson on film and was absolutely blown away by how well he played last week in his first game back in over a year.
And for Jay Cutler, first interception he has thrown in the last 3 games. That's never gone 3 games without a pick. That remains intact. Freeman down to the 1-yard line. It was stripped by Chris Conte. Mike Williams, the intended receiver. So interceptions on back-to-back plays. First Tenard Jackson, and now Chris Conte, the rookie out of Cal, with his first career interception.
Well, the safety position has been one that's been in flux for the Bears for a long time, and we had Chicago in week 1, and Lovie Smith, without being asked, started talking about Chris Conte and what a great career he had in front of him. And I think that career has started a little bit earlier. That's a great play right there by a young guy. The concentration, the position, being in the right spot, getting the hit, concentrating on the ball, and making the interception.
So, Darryl, the Bears lose 50 yards. They had been at the Bucs 48 when Cutler was intercepted. And now they get it back 2 plays later from their own 2.
They'll take it.
Forte trying to come out of the end zone. He has to get the ball completely out. And he does not.
What a great job by Rondé Barber. We've been talking about Matt Forte at the start of this game, how physical he is, how impressed we've been with him. Rondé Barber, watch him come up and fit and hold on right here, force him back. He gets a little help near the end, but that was all Rondé in the beginning.
That defensive line did a nice job of stoning everybody on the line of scrimmage. And here come them young guys on the outside, except for Rondé Barber, but does a great job of making that tackle. Well, that was a crazy 3 plays, huh, Darryl? 2 turnovers and a safety.
Unbelievable.
What do you think we're going to see on this play?
Punt return.
On 3 consecutive plays. So the Bears now lead 7-2. It had been exactly 100 games since the Buccaneers last recorded a safety back in September of 2005 against Buffalo. Now the free kick following the safety taken by Preston Parker out to 30. And he brings it out to the 40-yard line.
Great instincts by the veteran Rondé Barber. Look at number 20, fights off the block of the offensive lineman, gets up there, and then takes on Matt Forte. And how many times we've seen him run physical today? We've seen him make people miss. Great individual effort by Rondé Barber.
Rondé brought his family over to London. His kids are 8 and 9 years of age. He told us about the journal that they are going to write about when they return to school, and they can now write about their dad's safety that he recorded here at Wembley. First and 10 from the 40-yard line. Remember, the Bucs lost Ernest Graham, so Craig Lumpkin takes the handoff and gains 3. Henry Melton on the tackle.
Great opportunity for Craig Lumpkin right here, the only guy left. Come in here, show the coaches you can handle it. He's got some spot play from time to time since LeGarrette Blount has been out.
Entered the league with the Green Bay Packers, his second year with the Bucs. Second down and 7. Freeman over the middle for the rookie tight end Luke Stalker in Bears territory, the 4th-round pick out of Tennessee. Stalker gains 10.
That's a good job by Josh Freeman hanging in there. He's going to have a linebacker that's kind of green dogging. What that means, he's going to watch the running back, and if the running back decides to stay in and block, then he's going to blitz from the outside right here. Actually fooled Craig Lumpkin a little bit on that one, but watch Josh Freeman stand in there. He knows he's going to get hit. Throws a nice ball.
3.5 remaining, first quarter. Chicago leading Tampa Bay 7-2, and this play is blown dead. False start against the Bucs.
False start. Offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty remains, first down.
Right tackle Jeremy Trueblood as we check in for the first time with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt.
Jets hosting the Chargers. We get to see both teams on this play. Mark Sanchez hooking up with Dustin Keller, but Keller fumbles the football. San Diego's Donald Butler scoops it up and runs it 37 yards for a score. That made it 7-0. It's 7-3 right now. San Diego leading at the Jets. A little more traditional score than you guys have there in London. Kenny Moose and Goose.
All right, thanks, Kurt. 7-3. Jets and Chargers 7-2 here in London. Freeman's pass caught by Stockard at the 49-yard line following the false start. Jeremy Trueblood gained a 4.
But that's a nice play by Julius Peppers. And we talk about Julius Peppers as a pass rusher. He's also a very, very good run defender. And one of the reasons is, you do your responsibility. You don't chase things down when you're not supposed to. And he's the one that prevents Josh Freeman from being able to get outside and really make a big play here. You see, he reads that bootleg right away, actually impacts the release of Luke Stalker on the bootleg.
2 tight ends, second down and 11. The handoff to Lumpkin. There's a penalty marker down as Lumpkin picks up a first down to the Bears 36, gain of 13, but it looks like it's coming back.
Holding, offense, number 76. 10-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
That's on the center, Jeremy Zuta, who is filling in for the injured Jeff Fain in the middle.
Normally your left guard. Hey, Goose, how much different is that for Jeremy Zuta to have to snap that ball and then get those hands reset on a big guy lined up over top of him?
Oh, it's night and day. Not just that, making the calls as a center. The responsibilities of a center are controlling that whole offensive line. When you go from guard to center, you don't always have the help from that guard position with that center coming over. Now you're the helper, so you have to play both sides. And, this is a great play.
More movement, more flags.
Neutral zone infraction, number 91 on the defense. Stepped into the neutral zone, causing an offensive down lineman to fall short. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
That's Moby Okoye, first Bears penalty.
This is a great job by Zuta. The reason why I said that is if you see a defensive lineman come across the line of scrimmage, you snap the ball. That's what centers are supposed to do. They're supposed to be the smartest guy on the line of scrimmage, because now if you go and the quarterback drops back, he gets a free play. So that's a heads-up play by Zuta.
Although in that instance it was blown dead. 2nd down and 16. Freeman, pump fake, another flag. Pass is caught by Lumpkin out at midfield.
Last time we had Tampa Bay, they struggled with penalties also, Kenny.
2 weeks ago in San Fran.
Illegal use of the hands to the face. Deep offense, number 65. Had his head pinned back. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
That's Jeremy Trueblood again, his 2nd penalty today. He led the entire league in penalties 2 seasons ago.
Watch for number 65 to slide into your right. Now, if that hand gets up on that face mask, you know, as long as you move it right away, you're going to be okay. Just reset your hand. Jeremy never reset his hand, kept it there, and used it to his advantage. You can see him pushing Israel Adonaje's head back, like the official said.
Empty backfield, 2nd down and 26 following the 4th Bucs penalty. Freeman gets rid of it quickly, intended for Parker, another flag.
Looked like Israel Adonaje just lined up in the neutral zone right there. They were trying to get him to move back as linebackers, but I don't think he made it.
Offside, defense number 91, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, repeat, 2nd down.
That's on Okoye again. It's his 2nd penalty of this series.
Stringing a bunch of them together right here, getting a little sloppy by both teams.
Penalties now on the last 4 plays. Julius Peppers has come out of the game, replaced by Nick Reed. Peppers has been bothered by that left knee. He's come out a couple of times this series. Now 2nd and 21 for Josh Freeman and the Bucs. Freeman hit as he throws, and it's nearly intercepted. A diving attempt made by Chris Harris.
It's funny how much the players know. You talk to them, and we're on Julius Peppers, and yeah, you know, what are you going to do? You're going to have a plan, and they all talked about this guy. We got to do something about 71. You know, he's a big defensive end. It's Israel Adonaje who gets in there and impacts this throw and almost leads to an interception.
The good thing about Israel Adonaje, he lines up both on the right and the left end.
He's on the left goose. Nick Reed at right end. Peppers still on the sidelines. 3rd down and 21. Here's Lumpkin out across midfield, but not nearly enough. Brian Urlacher the tackle, and Michael Kanan will come out and punt for the 3rd time. So here comes Devin Hester, the reigning NFC Special Teams Player of the Week for the 2nd time the last 3 weeks. Returned to kickoff, 98 yards for a touchdown last week against Minnesota on Sunday night. Hester lets this one go, and it will be down by E.J. Biggers inside the 5-yard line.
Not a good decision by Devin Hester right there. Gave up about 12 yards of field position.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers spent 4 days in Surrey, and they got together with the Northampton Saints Rugby Club. They engaged in a couple of rugby scrums throughout the week.
It looks funny to see our guys with all the equipment on next to those rugby players with nothing on. Actually watched the World Championships this morning, Kenny. Those guys are some unique athletes.
Bears start from their own 4. As Cutler connects with the fullback, Tyler Klutz. As time winds down in this 1st quarter, Klutz just shy of a 1st down. His 4th reception this season.
Just got a word from the Buccaneers. Ernest Graham is out, will not return with an ankle. Saying it's an ankle.
Thanks, Goose. 2nd down and 1, and Bears will not run another play. Teams will head down to the other end of the field as the first quarter comes to an end here at Wembley. 7-2, Chicago Bears.
Let's do a count of all the different teams we can get here. Hats, jerseys, everything. There's the Iowa Hawkeyes right there. On top of that, a little bit of college. There's your Patriots down there, a Colt, bunch of Colts there. So as Goose said, all the teams represented over here in London by the fans.
Matt Forte, and he's forced back by Michael Bennett, but looks like forward progress was enough for a first down. You mentioned the Iowa Hawkeyes, perhaps Adrian Claiborne fans. The Bucs rookie defensive lineman.
And you connect the dots like nobody else.
I did see a Dallas number 48 in the stands also, Moose.
Yeah?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did earlier. Carrying a couple hot dogs.
America's fullback.
That's it.
On first down, here is Forte. Out to the 19-yard line. Well, the NFL has estimated the current fan base here in the UK is up over 11 million. The Super Bowl television audience has increased by 74% in the UK since 2006. And as we've mentioned a couple of times, this the 5th NFL regular season game played here in London. Bears were last in London in the preseason back in '86. Their first game back after winning the Super Bowl in January of '86. Here's Forte. Out to the 20, gain of 1. We check in once again with Kurt.
And the San Diego Chargers score again. Phillip Rivers, this time picking up with Antonio Gates, playing his first time since week 2. He scores his first touchdown this season. Chargers lead it at the Jets 14-3. Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
All right, thanks, Kurt. Chargers in first place in the AFC West at 4-1. Jets coming off the Monday night win over Miami. 3rd down and 4 for the Bears. Butler on the slant. It is nearly picked off. Rondé Barber thought he had it.
Wow, Rondé almost had all the points for the Buccaneers right there. He's already got a safety. I mean, does everything right but make the interception. Watch him come out, read the eyes, bounces right back out, plays it perfect. Just doesn't finish the catch.
Rondé making his 190th consecutive start. He has 14 career touchdowns. The safety back in the first quarter was his first. Punt by Podlesh. Bounces towards the sideline, out of bounds. Around the 35-yard line. Bucs back on offense when we come back.
This game on Fox is sponsored by UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you. By Chase. Don't get shortchanged. Get your cash back with Chase Freedom. And by Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness.
Fans enjoying themselves outside Wembley prior to the game tonight.
Looks like they ran out of brown bear costumes there, Moose.
The ferocious Blue Bear has made his way into the stadium, Goose.
How about the fluorescent orange guy? I don't know.
We've seen it all today. Here at Wembley with the Bears leading the Bucs 7-2. 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Lumpkin up the middle, runs right into the arms of Anthony Adams and Brian Urlacher. In case you joined us late, Buccaneers lost starting running back Ernest Graham in the first quarter due to an ankle injury. He will not return.
I want you to watch Chris Harris come into your screen right there. Comes down under control. Now, what was happening before? Earlier in the year, guys were coming down. They were coming down so fast that they were missing their gaps. And because this is a one-gap defense, these big plays were popping. A couple weeks ago, Javid Best, 88 yards, makes one move, gets into a vacated gap, and he goes 88 yards. You have to come down under control if you're that 8th man coming into the box.
3 wide receivers set. 2nd and 10. Freeman under pressure up the middle from Lance Briggs. Throws it away.
That's the worst thing for a quarterback, getting pressure right in his face. Watch Lance Briggs right here, number 55, just comes up, A little bit of move by Craig Lumpkin, and right in the face. Josh Freeman does a great job of getting rid of that ball, Darryl.
And we think about, running the football and getting out on pass routes for Craig Lumpkin, but one of the biggest adjustments are going to be all those protection rules and the assignments that he didn't get a lot of snaps on during the week.
3rd and 10, play clock at 2. Bucs must get to the 45. Freeman again under pressure. Catch is made by Desmond Briscoe, but he's tackled at the 42-yard line, 3 yards shy of the marker, so the Buccaneers forced to punt once again.
There's your 2 linebackers again, both Brian Urlacher and Lance Briggs. You get your depth, you're going to impact throws, force Josh Freeman to elevate him a little bit, so when he does check it down, now you're turning and closing on these ball carriers. He gets sandwiched in between the 2 linebackers.
Hester back deep, Kanan punting for the 4th time. That looks like they hit one of the Bears and hit Charles Tillman. Bucs say they have it. But it will be Bears football. One more look. Back in London, Bears lead the Buccaneers 7-2. Early 2nd quarter. Cutler and the Bears start from the 21-yard line. The handoff to Forte. Cuts to the outside. And Matt Forte picks up a Bears first down out to the 34. A gain of 14. Now, when I mentioned the score 7-2 a moment ago, the gentleman to my right chuckled, and he is the commissioner of the National Football League, and we are honored to have him join us here in the booth. Roger Goodell, you didn't think that would be the score after 1 quarter?
I wasn't expecting that one, Kenny, and I don't know if our British fans were, but it's been a great game for them.
We had an opportunity pregame today to talk to some of the officials that are over here working American football here in the UK, and they said it's getting to the point where it's hard to keep up with the games. The universities are embracing it. They said they're a little bit short on crews, so it seems like the game is really starting to take hold over here.
The game really has grown, Darryl, and what's really interesting, I had a fan forum yesterday with about 500 fans, and the quality of their questions and the knowledge of the game is extraordinary. And it really, it's just a signal that I think our growth is really taking hold, and I think there's a bright future for football here.
This is the 5th NFL regular season game in London, and just last week, the NFL owners approved a resolution to continue playing regular season games in the UK through 2016, potentially more than 1 game per year.
Yeah, it's not only the continuation for the next 5 years, but the expansion of the number of games. We think we can play multiple regular season games here in the season, and that will further our growth and maybe someday have an NFL franchise here.
On 2nd and 10, that pass was caught by Sonsenbacher for a gain of 9.
Have to put your analyst cap on. Some of the things that you've seen to start the season off, that you've been impressed with, some of the teams that you're happy to see off to a great start?
Well, it's always great to see those teams that are unexpected play well. And you see Detroit and Buffalo coming out, San Francisco playing well. And then I think also the scoring. I was really taken by the amount of scoring, particularly with the shorter off season and the preparation. And I think the excitement of the game has been extraordinary this year.
3rd down and 1. The handoff to Marion Barber. He's inside the 35. Finally brought down at the Tampa Bay 28-yard line. Barber gains 28.
Well, when you get into the short yardage situations and you get everybody uptight on the line of scrimmage and you break that one little seam, it's the kick out block coming from the backside. Corey Lynch loses his responsibility, and there's that one little lane that Marion Barber is able to get to. Now all your flow from your linebackers, you lose that because everybody has stepped up in that short yardage situation.
127 yards on the ground for the Bears. And we are not yet midway through the 2nd quarter. Bears lead 7-2, 1st and 10 from the Bucs 28-yard line. Cutler steps up and fires. A pass intended for Devin Hester. Rondé Barber on the coverage.
But it's a good play by Devin Hester, and that's some of the trust you develop with your quarterback, that, hey, if you throw me the ball up and I can't get to it, I'll guarantee you that the other guy is not going to get it. I won't let you get an interception, and it's part of the process that you will go through as a quarterback and a wide receiver. So Devin Hester going back to some of his younger days there and turning into a corner, making a nice play to prevent Rondé Barber from getting an interception.
The commissioner of the National Football League, Roger Goodell, is with us. 2nd and 10 for the Bears. From the Bucs 28-yard line. They hand off to Forte. And he's down at the 25, gain of 3. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are here for the 2nd time. They played in London 2 years ago against New England, and it has been mentioned that they might become part of a regular rotation traveling over here from Tampa.
Well, we're going to try to focus on a few teams just to see if that will accelerate our growth over here. And the Buccaneers have a tremendous interest in expanding their brand on a global basis. And as you know, the Glazer family owns Man U over here, so there's an infrastructure set up, and it's an opportunity we're looking forward to.
3rd down and 7. Bears empty the backfield. Cutler, quick release. What a catch by Roy Williams. Touchdown.
This is one of the things that Jay Cutler has asked for. He wants the ball to be able to come out quicker in this offense, and it sure does help when the defense obliges. Here's Roy Williams right here. Wins right at the get-go. Just beats the jam by E.J. Biggers. Gets on top right away. Thrown to the outside. Jay Cutler, good spot with the ball.
25 yards from Cutler to Williams for Roy Williams. His first touchdown of the season. First touchdown as a member of the Chicago Bears. Goal, the extra point. The Chicago lead is now 14-2. That's right, Mr. Commissioner. 14-2.
We're giving the British fans everything.
This game is sponsored by the Ford F-150, the only truck available with EcoBoost.
I mean, every player I talk to.
Well, what did the Bears do? Upon their arrival here in London on Friday, they headed to the Oval Cricket Ground. The balls, the bats, Lance Briggs, Brian Urlacher having some fun. Buccaneers, as you saw earlier, as Preston Parker takes a knee. Buccaneers played rugby. Bears took part in cricket. More with Roger Goodell when we return. Here's Josh Freeman, who made his NFL regular season debut here in London against the Patriots 2 Octobers ago. Freeman and the Bucs trailing this game 14-2. They start from their own 20. Freeman wrapped up and forced to throw it away off the pressure from Nick Roach.
Is number 82 is in the vicinity. 2nd down.
So 2nd and 10 upcoming. Goose, you have a question for the commissioner?
Commissioner, how are you?
I'm great, Goose. How about you?
I'm tremendous. The food here is outstanding here in London. You can see my physique. Just wanted to, you had some rule changes this year. One in particular that sticks out in my mind is kicking off from the 35. You know, we're pretty much into the season pretty well. How has that been working out? Are you happy with that rule change? Or?
Well, Goose, as you know, the idea behind it was player safety, and it's had that kind of an impact. It's a safer play for us now, but it's something we've got to continue to evaluate. I think the competition committee will clearly be focused on that and see if there are other solutions to bring the excitement of that play in, but also continue to make it safe.
Last week, week 6, the lowest touchback ratio of the season. How about the opening kickoff today, out of bounds?
Well, you know, a lot of people think that I've talked to a lot of coaches about this, as the weather gets colder, the ball won't go as far, and you'll see a lot more returns as the season goes on, and we've had a relatively warm fall, so it's a possibility that will change.
That was one of the things that we talked about, things that surprised you, that just the length of the returns this year, because the guys electing to come in from 8 yards deep, from 9 yards deep, and you know, I thought some great points made by some guys around the league, Jimmy Johnson being one. You know, when that ball goes deep, all of a sudden the coverage team kind of relaxes a little bit, and you're not downfield as far because you've already limited them with the 5 yards. And so yeah, it's a process going through it. I know some people have been upset about it, but you know, when it is player safety, and I agree that we should get late in the year, and it gets cold, it gets windy, I don't think we're going to have as many going in.
And I think anytime you have a rule change, it takes a period of time for it to settle in, and you don't want to make an evaluation too soon. So let's let it roll for the season, and we'll see and make an evaluation at the conclusion.
Amobi Okoye was the injured Bear. Bucs facing 3rd down and 10. Freeman backpedaling, now he throws. And it sails out of bounds. So the Bucs will punt for the 5th time midway through this second quarter. We thank Commissioner Roger Goodell for stopping by. I know you have to go explain the safety to a number of fans on your way back.
Well, you know, that was the good news, is that they seem to understand the game. And, you know, there's greater and greater knowledge of the game, and that's a great thing for us.
By the way, it was the first safety in the 5 games played here in London.
There you go, Kenny.
In case anybody asked. Thanks, Commissioner.
Kenny, thank you.
Great to see you, Roger.
Good to be with you.
Take care. Travel safe back.
Thank you.
Take care, Commissioner.
Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the National Football League, joining us during the second quarter with the Chicago Bears leading the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 14-2. Well, we're in London, but America's Game of the Week is coming up next following the Bears and the Buccaneers. Many of you will see the 6-0 Green Bay Packers as they take on the Vikings in Minneapolis. Others, the Rams and the Cowboys. America's Game of the Week coming up following this game on Fox. That last punt by Kanan, a season-long 65 yards, forcing the Bears all the way back to the 15-yard line. Cutler is 5 for 10. He's hit 5 different receivers with his 5 completions. He hands it off to Marion Barber. Brian Price, who was shaken up earlier, returns and makes the tackle for a loss of 1. Tanar Jackson with an interception earlier for the Bucs. He is questionable. Suffered a hamstring injury, so he has been replaced by Corey Lynch.
And that's a big loss for Tampa Bay. I mean, he really changed the dynamics of their secondary when he got back and had the interception earlier in the game. Didn't lead to a touchdown, but it eventually led to Rondé Barber's safety.
Second down and 11. Cutler off the play fake, steps up and throws. It's complete for a first down. Devin Hester out of the 27-yard line, a gain of 12.
Jay Cutler, just a nice slide to his left to get a clear throwing lane. A little bit of pressure coming in from his right side. Watch him just slide a little bit to the left, get that open lane. Devin Hester pops right into that window for him.
Hester's second reception today. So the Bears move the chains, leading the Bucs 14-2. From the 26-yard line. Cutler throws, and it's caught for another first down by Johnny Knox. Out at the 40-yard line, a 14-yard connection.
Gets back. He's getting into a good rhythm right now. Gets back there, back step, and there's the matchup that they're looking for. When Rondé is in the slot, Rondé's a good player. He's around the ball. He's going to make things happen. We've seen him have some good plays already today for the Tampa Bay defense, but if they can get that one-on-one matchup outside, they're going to be coming after him. And there's Tanar Jackson with that hamstring injury. So it doesn't look like he's going to be back anytime soon.
The toss to Forte, who's got over 100 yards on the ground in the first half here in London. Forte out to the 43-yard line, gain of 1. Adam Hayward made the tackle.
But if you're going to shut down this Bears running game, you have to do what Tampa Bay did on this play. Everybody continued to run to the ball. There were several times where Matt Forte stopped and wanted to come back inside, but the pursuit was at the proper angles where he kept getting squeezed closer and closer to the sideline.
Forte, 14 carries, 102 yards, and the first Chicago touchdown. Under 5 minutes remaining, second quarter here at Wembley. On 2nd and 9, Cutler rolling to his right. Under pressure, he throws. And it is Johnny Knox once again who makes the catch for a first down at the Buccaneers 43.
Another one of the wrinkles that I'm sure Jay Cutler's very happy about being added into this playbook, and that's the little bootlegs here. We forget how effective he was out in Denver throwing on the move. That is well-timed. I mean, Johnny Knox is coming out of his break right as that ball is being let go. Aqib Talib doesn't have much chance on this one.
15 yards from Cutler to Knox, his second reception on his drive, which started back at the 15-yard line. From the 43, inside handoff to Forte. And Forte Takes it down to the 36, gain of 7 before he was brought down by Roy Miller.
It's just been in spurts. I mean, this Bears offense has been able to run the ball effectively, and then Tampa will kind of adjust a little bit, but just keep feeding it to Matt Forte. Don't give up on this running game, because it's going to open up the bootleg pass we just saw to Johnny Knox. It's going to give you opportunities for hard play action with big plays down the field.
How about that, Darryl? Matt Forte, first player to reach 1,000 yards from scrimmage over the first 7 games since Priest Holmes and Rondé's brother, Tiki Barber, back in 2004. Marion Barber, no relation, takes the handoff from Cutler. And gains just 1, wrapped up by Gino Hayes along with Adam Hayward. Hayward in for the injured Mason Foster, who suffered an ankle injury earlier, and his return is questionable.
Well, it's been a big topic of discussion, not only in Chicago for Chicago fans, but around the NFL, and it's the contract of Matt Forte. And you had big contracts signed earlier this year. Chris Johnson, D'Angelo Williams, Adrian Peterson, Frank Gore. You know, these are guys who aren't matching Matt Forte's numbers right now. So he's making a great case, and it's just going to become more and more expensive for Chicago to sign him in the future.
Cutler on 3rd and 4. He was under pressure. That pass intended for Forte, and Cutler winds up on his back.
And we're seeing this just a little bit too much this season. And I know that they've had some different starting fives in that offensive line up front, but you've got to have something. That's Dakota Watson. Dakota Watson is an outstanding pass rusher. And, you know, you got to learn that. You can't, I don't know what happened, whether it was a running back, whether one of the offensive linemen was supposed to kick out, but you don't want to let number 56, Dakota Watson, come running free to your quarterback.
Adam Podlesh punting for the 3rd time. And a fair catch is called for back at the 7-yard line by Preston Parker.
Well, it started off as the Matt Forte show. He showed you his skills, his balance, his patience, his vision on this run right here. Some good efforts by his teammates downfield to get some blocks. And then Rondé Barber, just a great play here. After Matt Forte shows everybody how good of a running back he is. A great stand right there by Rondé to force the safety. And then Roy Williams beats E.J. Biggers right off the bat. Jay Cutler goes up over top for a touchdown.
Now following the punt, worst starting field position of the day for Josh Freeman and the Bucs. Bucs have gained only 60 yards on offense so far here in the first half. And they lost their starting running back, Ernest Graham, as the catch is made by Desmond Briscoe out of the 11-yard line for a gain of 4. Already without LeGarrette Blount, their leading rusher. In street close today. They lost Graham in the first quarter down to just Greg Lumpkin. Josh Freeman 7 for 16, 44 yards. Bucs have gained only 2 first downs in the game.
But one of the lessons that Josh Freeman learned in that San Francisco game is when you start off like this and things aren't going your way, don't force things. You let your offense settle into a rhythm. Even if it takes, you know, late into the first half, maybe even into the 3rd quarter before they find their offensive rhythm. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're down 3 scores.
On 2nd and 6, Lumpkin found a big hole. His best run today out to the 25-yard line. A gain of 14 as we hit the 2-minute warning here in London with the Bears leading the Bucs by 12. Two minutes remaining, second quarter in London. Bears leading the Buccaneers 14-2. Freeman out of the shotgun on first down. Freeman's pass caught, taken out to the 30-yard line by Mike Williams. Gain of 6. Coming up, the Visa halftime report with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. They'll be along with scores and highlights. Fox Sports ticker with all the latest stats. And a war of words between Rex Ryan and your former offensive coordinator, Norv Turner. Here's Mike Williams again, and that's the longest play on offense for the Buccaneers in this first half. 19 yards, and Tampa Bay will use their first timeout.
And how many times do we see a team that struggles the entire first half get into a 2-minute situation and all of a sudden things start to click for them a little bit? Mike Williams down on the bottom working against Charles Tillman. And again, just another well-timed throw. You can see all the Bears there. Here comes Brian Urlacher inside out, but they just fit it into one of those little windows in that zone.
Mike Williams, in his second season out of Syracuse, led all NFL rookies in receptions last year with 65. There's Bucs offensive coordinator Greg Olson. And Rod Marinelli, who spent a decade in Tampa working under Tony Dungy and John Gruden, the Bears defensive coordinator. From the 49 on first down. Freeman over the middle for Lumpkin. Urlacher the tackle to the 45-yard line. Gain of 7, as you see on our Fox box. Upper left-hand corner. Buccaneers have 2 timeouts remaining with 1:10 on the clock, first half. Second down and 3. Freeman's pass is gathered in. Desmond Briscoe makes the catch for a Bucs first down at the Bears 26, and Raheem Morris will use his second timeout.
This is just a really nice throw by Josh Freeman. I mean, it's off his back foot. He's got pressure in his face, and it's going to be a timing route. Watch coming in from the right side. Good pickup by Greg Lumpkin on that one, but he's still got pressure, and look at that throw.
I mean, he had DJ Moore and Julius Peppers right in his face off here to the right side, too, Daryl. I'm surprised he got it off.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the timing coming in, and it's right on the mark, up high, so his receiver can go up and finish the play.
Looks like those safeties, too, are still 20, 22 yards deep, Daryl. I don't know, they're giving a lot of cushion to those receivers to make that in cut.
Desmond Briscoe, 10 catches coming into this game, has 3 today. 7th play of the drive for the Bucs, their longest of this half. Freeman to the near side. Preston Parker did not get out of bounds. Clock now at 45 seconds, gain of 7. Still 1 timeout remaining for the Bucs.
Yeah, that situation right there, understand where you're on the field. Get out of bounds. Stop this clock and give yourself more plays.
Second down and 3. Freeman to the end zone. Pass intended for Briscoe. Charles Tillman on the coverage. 27 seconds remaining. 3rd and 3 upcoming.
Well, they found something on the outside where they like Desmond Briscoe today. You pointed out, Kenny, not a lot of attention so far during the course of the year, but off to a good start here in the first half. Now, Chicago has to be aware of Kellen Winslow in this situation, too. Big, tall tight end. They're going to flex him out of the formations from time to time, looking for a matchup.
Winslow with only 1 catch so far today. 3rd down and 3. Freeman looking. Now he throws. Remember, the Bucs with just the 1 timeout. Lumpkin is just shy of the marker as time continues to run. Now the Bucs call timeout.
A couple of mistakes right there by Tampa Bay. Preston Parker with an opportunity to stop the clock out at about 45 seconds, doesn't get out of bounds. And then right there, you know, Craig Lumpkin, a lot on his plate right now, but understand if you can get this first down, you can get up and clock that ball, maybe burn your last timeout even, and have the opportunity to take a couple of shots at the end zone maybe. When you come up short, you're leaving points off the board there. Now you got to settle for a field goal attempt.
So Connor Barth comes out to attempt a 33-yard field goal on 4th and 1. Had they called the timeout earlier, if the Bucs took a shot at the end zone and the pass is incomplete, it was 4th down. So instead, they let the clock run down. And will not to give the Bears any time following this field goal attempt from the left hash. Michael Kanan will place it down. 33-yard attempt by Barth. It is good as the first half comes to an end here in London. Goose chatting with Bucs head coach Raheem Morris We talked about it in our open. Bucs traveled on Monday. Bears did not arrive until Friday. But it's the Chicago Bears who lead the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the half by the score of 14-5.
And we were interested to see what role was that going to play during the course of the game. You know, historically in this game in London, the team that comes over early in the week has executed better, has performed better than the team that has come late in the week. But that's not the case in the first half for us today. Chicago came out and had a great opening drive, really took control at the beginning of the game, and then kind of settled into a little bit of a lull.
Matt Forte with 107 yards on the ground for Chicago. Jay Cutler, 8 of 14. Touchdown pass to Roy Williams. Buccaneers with a safety and a field goal.
But I like the
lead for the Bears at the half.
I like the maturity of Josh Freeman on that drive coming down. Didn't press, hung in there, knows they didn't play well in the first half. Let's get in at halftime, get it figured out, come back out and have a good second half.
Here's a halftime report next. We get set for the second half here at Wembley Stadium in London. Chicago Bears leading the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by the score of 14-5. Kenny Albert with Darryl Johnston. We've been talking about the travel. Tampa Bay, of course, traveling on Monday. Chicago arriving just 2 days ago in London, but over the course of the first half, Darryl, did not seem to affect Chicago.
It really sounds like Lovey's plan was exactly on target for the Chicago Bears. I want to stay back in Chicago and really work in our normal routine and push off this trip as far as I can. They got in Friday, did their Friday practice, and they came out. They're the ones that kind of hit the ground running, and Tampa Bay was over here for the whole week. Kind of used it like a training camp environment, kind of build some chemistry with that younger team, but we'll have to wait and see what happens here in the second half.
Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Second half underway. Preston Parker takes a knee. Bucs will start from the 20-yard line as we head downstairs to Goose.
Thanks, guys. Had a chance to talk to Raheem about only having one running back in Greg Lumpkin. He's told me, it didn't restrict our game plan a lot. But if Lumpkin starts getting a little bit tired, we will put in Luke Stocker. If we need to go to max protection or if we need to, have a little bit of a break in there. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure they made some adjustments during halftime, but I'm sure you guys like my hat also.
Absolutely. Nice hat to Stocker is in as a second tight end. Lumpkin in the backfield. Freeman looking to throw on first down under pressure. Throws it out of bounds as we check out the first half numbers.
Well, the rushing game of the Chicago Bears, in my opinion, the real big difference in this game, and you heard Jimmy Johnson talk about, you really control the whole flow of a game when you're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage and you're running the ball as effectively as you do, because it does keep your defense off the field. They do get to get rested. When they come back on the field, they're ready to go. So Tampa Bay needed to make some big adjustments in their run game. They've given up a couple of long runs, one to Matt Forte and then Marion Barber with a big run also.
And offensively, Bucs gained only 60 yards until their final drive of the first half when they went for 77. And how about Julius Peppers getting into the backfield? Craig Lumpkin loses a couple.
He just does things as a guy of his size that shock you from week to week. I mean, I thought it was a linebacker coming out. Julius Peppers right here. He's going to recognize the run, gets rid of the tackle. I mean, works straight down the line and beats the running back to the corner.
Makes it look easy. Now 3rd down and 12. Bucs must get to the 30. Here comes Peppers again. Freeman's pass is caught by Lumpkin, but he's down at the 19-yard line. So the Bucs on their first possession of the second half go 3 and out.
Yeah, that's a disappointing start. You end on a positive note in that first half. You get the field goal, and you haven't played well in the first half, but you haven't played yourself out of the game either. And you hope to come out and kind of start this third quarter on a positive note. They come out and do a 3 and out.
For the Bucs, their 4th 3 and out in 8 possessions. Punting from his own 6. Angled towards the sideline. Here's Hester. And And he dances out of bounds. Good field position coming up for the Bears. In case you're wondering how Goose got that hat, Darryl, there it is.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. By Toyota. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
A look at Stonehenge, located 90 miles west of London. Stone monument erected over 4,000 years ago. We had a chance to visit Stonehenge on Thursday.
Amazing that they can get those rocks that size stood up 4,000 years ago.
Best starting field position for the Bears from their own 45. And the catch is made by Johnny Knox in Bucs territory to the 31-yard line, a 24-yard pass play.
And here's another thing that a good running game helps you do. It loosens up your coverage and allows you to get downfield. Johnny Knox coming from the outside, works into that area. A nice, look at the area that Jay Cutler fit that ball into.
Third catch today for Knox, 54 yards. 3 wide receivers, Forte Malone back. The give to Forte. And he gains a yard down to the 31. Corey Lynch still in for the injured Tenard Jackson. Made the tackle.
One of those things that you forget about during the course of the game, Tenard Jackson going out of the lineup, Corey Lynch coming back in. He was such a force last week in their game against New Orleans. There's the big difference. You see what Matt Forte has done, 16 rushes for 108 yards. That's been the key for the Bears in the first half.
Second and 10. Butler taken down. Adrian Claiborne, the rookie out of Iowa, first-round pick.
Jay Cutler does everything right. He's going to step up in the pocket, try and avoid the rush, buy himself some time. But Adrian Claiborne beats Jamarcus Webb back to the inside.
That was amazing because Jamarcus Webb had help there on the outside. The back goes to his outside, knowing that he's not going to have a lot of room out there. Tyler Klutz, knowing you can't give that inside up, and that's exactly what happens.
Third down at 11 following the sack by Claiborne as Cutler fires, and the catch is made by Roy Williams for a Bears first down.
This is another nice throw by Jay Cutler on this. Watch the line that this one is on. Shifts. He doesn't even have a chance to get his feet set. That is on a rope to Roy Williams.
Now, you mentioned Tenard Jackson. Bucs lost Mason Foster in the first half. The middle linebacker on that last play, as we saw 2 weeks ago in San Francisco, Rondé Barber was playing linebacker. First and 10 from the 21-yard line. Cutler with time. He throws. And pass intended for the tight end, Kellen Davis.
Boy, did he get lucky here, though, because Corey Lynch gets underneath that route. And one of the things you have to do, if you're going to go in on an in route, you have to beat your man inside. You can't allow him to come underneath you. So let's see what happens at the top with Kellen Davis. He rounds it. He lets Corey Lynch get in front of him. And the Bears are lucky that Corey Lynch stumbled making his break on that ball.
Second and 10, 2 tight ends in the game for Chicago. Hester comes in motion into the backfield, the handoff to Forte, up the middle. And Matt Forte takes it all the way down to the 12-yard line for a gain of 9.
Goose, what does that do to you as a defensive lineman when you have somebody like Devin Hester coming around simulating an end around?
Well, that's what happened. The whole defensive line was frozen going, and all of a sudden they see Devin Hester coming across the formation. They're playing Devin Hester. They widen out, and they forget about the run up the middle. I don't know. If I see Devin Hester coming across my face and I'm playing in the game, I'm taking the angle of pursuit.
Now 3rd and 1, Goose. Here's Marion Barber. First down and more. Barber takes it in for a Bears touchdown.
Well, it doesn't matter who the Bears are putting in at running back right now. They're really controlling this game. Good job by Marion Barber. And again, you're out of your gaps. I mean, Sean Jones is coming down inside. He sees the play move to his right. He steps to his right, loses his responsibility in the gap, and then Marion Barber comes right through that spot.
50th career rushing touchdown from Marion Barber. Bears by 16. As Marion Barber missed the first 3 games of the season due to a calf injury, but he has become a terrific complement to Matt Forte.
He really is, and you know, he's going to be your physical style guy. He's going to set the tempo when Matt needs a break. But we've seen today he's had a couple long runs. He's getting back into that style that we saw early in his career in Dallas.
Touchback. Bucs will start at the 20. Bears with 160 yards on the ground. They're averaging 7.6 yards per carry. Barber took this one in from 12.
Yeah, they load up on the other side. You got your 2 big tight ends there. You put your fullback over there, and then you get the break out the backside. You know, Sean Jones has got to be in that gap to fill that hole. He doesn't get there. He bites on that roll by Marion Barber, and then as he comes back to the backside, there's nobody there to fill that hole.
Michael Bennett needed to do a better job of identifying runners, squeezing that hole for that safety in the backside.
Now is Eric Loring back in the game at fullback for the Bucs. He was injured in the first half. As Freeman's pass is picked off by Lance Briggs. Second interception of Freeman today, and Briggs returns it all the way to the 1. 2 penalty markers back at the 40-yard line following the interception by Briggs.
Now this is Josh Freeman going back to what happened in San Francisco, trying to make something happen when it's not there and not being patient.
After the interception, illegal block in the back. Chicago Bears number 26, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Lance Briggs is going to be right here at the linebacker spot. He's going to match up with Kellen Winslow. Now he's underneath. I mean, there's no margin for error. You can't make that throw. I mean, he's played it perfectly. You've got to check it down. And, you know, he told us, you know, some of my decisions, yeah, I've been a little bit aggressive. I need to know when to check it down instead of taking the shot. But the big thing he felt he learned at San Francisco was don't try and get it back all at once. You know, allow your offense to get back into a rhythm and regain it. And he did exactly the wrong thing right there. And
first interception this season, 13th of his career for the 6-time Pro Bowler Lance Briggs. Now, due to the penalty, the Bears actually lose 49 yards. Penalty committed by Tim Jennings as Butler throws, and that's broken up by Aqib Talib Hester, the intended receiver.
You're sitting at 21-5. I mean, you don't want to sit on the lead, but boy, I sure would just start to kind of feed it to Matt Forte, and when he needs a break, get Marion Barber back in there.
Yeah, especially the way they've been running the ball.
There's Freeman, who's been picked off twice today, now 8 times this season. Only 6 all of last year. And both interceptions today came on the first play of drives. Here's Forte into Bucs territory. Gain of 1.
There's a big power formation there again, loading up everything, trying to get in between the tackles. In the first half, it was out on the edge where Chicago was having a lot of success running the football.
There's the difference right there. You talked about it earlier, Darryl. Rushing yards for Chicago, 161. They've established the run, and now Tampa has to go and defend the run and the pass.
There's Forte in the slot.
Whereas 31 for the Bucs, I mean, they're one-dimensional. They know they're going to have to go to the air to go and get back in this game.
With an empty backfield, Goose. Cutler steps up. Now he throws off the hand of Johnny Knox. Goose talked about those 161 rushing yards. Forte with 119, Barber the other 42. Bears will punch it away.
Well, the big thing is when you remove Matt Forte out of the backfield, that means you've gone 5 wide receiver sets. It's empty. And so it's your 5 against the 4. And I don't think that's at the strength right now for the Bears offensive line. You know, the empty sets, you know, the 7-step drops, you know, go back to the first half when you were running the ball effectively and establishing some play action.
Caught by Podlesh, taken at the 15 by Parker. And he's tackled as he crosses the 20 by Khalil Bell.
Today's game is sponsored by Verizon. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL from your Verizon phone to get NFL Mobile.
A look at Tower Bridge in downtown London as we welcome you back to Wembley. Bears lead the Buccaneers 21-5. Tampa Bay, 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. The toss to Aurelius Ben. Gain of 2. Well, get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL Now. It is week 7. Both the Bears and Bucs will travel home tomorrow, and will both have byes next weekend. Tampa Bay will then travel to New Orleans in 2 weeks. They beat the Saints last week. The 2 games against the Saints in a span of 3 games. Bears will face the Eagles in 2 Mondays in their next game. A week from tomorrow. Penalty marker as Lumpkin takes it out to the 21-yard line.
Holding, offense number 62. His penalty has been declined. The results of the play, 4 down.
Left guard Ted Larson as Raheem Morris looks on from the sidelines. Bucs' 3rd-year head coach.
You know, Kenny, it's interesting over the last couple of weeks for both of these teams. You know, very different games, and you know, I was interested to see who was going to be able to continue with the success that they had the previous week. And you know, Chicago came out and played very, very well against Minnesota. Tampa Bay, the big victory within the division against New Orleans. And the weeks before, both of these teams played poorly. Chicago looks like they have really sorted some things out on defense. This is as good as their defense has looked in a while.
They've held the Bucs to just 1 for 8 on 3rd down. Briscoe must get to the 30 and across, and it looks like he does. So Desmond Briscoe picks up a Bucs 1st down on his 4th reception.
That's a great job by Desmond Briscoe going and knowing where he's got to get to after he makes the catch, turning and getting vertical upfield and getting that 1st down. That was very key for this offense.
Bucs move the chains as the crowd does the wave. Peppers hustling off the field. Bears had 12 defenders on the field. Peppers to the sideline. From the 31-yard line on 1st down. Freeman's pass is incomplete, intended for Winslow. Chris Conte on the coverage.
Well, Lovie Smith was exactly right about the future for Chris Conte. I mean, he's been very solid down here with his run fits. Right there, he's matched up one-on-one with Kellen Winslow. Now, that's a pretty good size advantage for Kellen Winslow in that situation. And Chris Conte stays step for step with him. And Lovie told us, you know, it's hard to find a safety in this system because they've got to know the run fits and play the front like a linebacker when they drop down in. But then, you know, they got to jump out, and they may get caught in situations one-on-one with some very good receivers. Chris Conte, nice job in coverage.
3rd round pick out of Cal, now 2nd and 10. Freeman hits Winslow. He's knocked out of bounds by Charles Tillman after a gain of just 1. Midway through the 3rd quarter here in London, Buccaneers traveled on Monday. They stayed in a resort in the town of Bagshot in Surrey, 27 miles southwest of London. Entire team moved downtown on Friday, and they trail by 16. Now 3rd down and 9. Freeman tries to break away from the pressure. Amobi Okoye along with Nick Reed.
This is one of the things that Donald Penn was worried about. He said the Chicago Bears are very, very good at twists in games on the inside. So there goes Nick Reed to the inside, and here comes Amobi Okoye on the outside. They got the Bears on different levels. They couldn't pass that game.
Negative yardage for the Bucs on their 3 possessions here in the second half. Preston into Tampa Bay territory for the Bucs 48. McCoy and Reed with the sack of Josh Freeman. Have we spotted fans, Darryl, from all 32 teams yet?
Yeah, but you know what? That guy couldn't make it in the black hole out in Oakland. He'd be thrown out. They'd throw him over the railing.
He's like, he's got a couple different outfits on. He doesn't know whether he's a Raider fan or a Viking. I don't know what he is.
Butler to the fullback, Tyler Klutz. Took a hard hit from Adam Hayward after gaining 8.
Adam Hayward. I don't know what that. Man, he launched him.
Hayward, the special teams captain for the Bucs, has seen a lot of playing time on defense following the injury suffered by Mason Foster in the first half. He enjoyed that one. Second down and 2. Matt Forte. First down for Chicago.
That has been all day, and I don't understand it. And Tony, you know, we saw these guys against San Francisco, and then we watched them on tape last week against New Orleans. They were running last week. This looks very similar to San Francisco a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you watch Corey Lynch right there. They have him on the line of scrimmage. Both him and Geno Hayes. They're just not finishing. You know, they had them on the line of scrimmage. He stopped with their arm tackling, and what Forte's doing is he's running right through their arms.
His third 100-yard game in the last 4 weeks, Goose, including 205 against Carolina. Hester down back at the 38. Did not fool Geno Hayes. Loss of 6 on the play.
A little bit better on that play from the Buccaneers defense. I mean, Geno Hayes comes upfield, slows them down. They just got to start running to the ball. That's not what I'm seeing out of this Tampa Bay defense. They need to go and hunt like a pack of wolves, and I'm not seeing it right now.
On 2nd and 16. Butler to Hester. Hester takes it down to the Bucs 27 for a gain of 9.
Now, how many times have we seen this today with Jay Cutler, where the guy right in his face, you know, kind of drifting backwards off the back foot? I mean, Michael Bennett unblocked. I mean, it's the defensive end, completely free to your quarterback.
Lance Lewis, the right tackle, he goes down and they double team the inside guy. I guess he didn't get the call. He needs to slide out, pick that guy up.
And the left guard, Chris Williams, came up limping. Third down and 5. Dave Sanzenbacher wrestled out of bounds about a yard shy of the marker. Nice tackle by Aqib Talib. So the Bears will send out Robbie Gould and the field goal unit. If Gould makes this field goal, he will tie Nate Kading of the Chargers, who's currently on injured reserve, with the highest all-time field goal percentage in NFL history. 41-yard attempt from the right hash. Out of Podles, places it down by Jensen.
13 for 13. Kenny puts the
whammy.
Voodoo whammy on him.
He's still perfect in the continental United States. Still a 2-score game with the Bears leading by 16 here in London.
This is a really, really critical series for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, it has been all Chicago to start this second half again. They've had great field position, but they've only got the 1 touchdown. They miss an opportunity for more points there. You know, Tampa Bay cannot wait much longer. This is a critical, critical series for Greg Olsen in this offense.
I totally agree. They need some kind of momentum in this third quarter to go and carry over to the fourth quarter. Josh Freeman cannot be making mistakes here in this drive.
He's thrown 2 picks today. Freeman setting up the screen to Lumpkin on first down. And And he goes nowhere. In fact, he loses 2 yards. Urlacher and Briggs on the tackle.
That's Jeremy Zuta at center right there. He's holding his knee. That does not look good for the Bucs.
Jeremy Zuta, number 76, your center, coming out to get involved in the screen here.
Remember, the Bucs already are without their starting center, Jeff Fain, due to a right biceps injury. Zuta, normally the starting left guard, the center today, and he remains down.
Yeah, Chris Harris just went down at his knees and caught him.
There's Jeff Fain.
On the outside left there, you see Chris Harris come up, and you know that's what happens on the screen when you have the big offensive lineman coming outside against a secondary player. They'll come up, they'll take the legs out to try and jam up that whole pile on the screen. The good news is Jeremy Zuta's leg came out of the turf.
Zuta, in his 4th season out of Rutgers, moved over to replace Fain last week. So the Bucs medical staff continues to tend to Zuta as we check in with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt.
Well, it's only week 7, but Cam Newton already setting rookie records. This is 7th rushing touchdown as a quarterback this year, tying the mark set by Vince Young for an entire rookie season. Right now, Newton and the Panthers holding on to a 3-point lead in the 3rd quarter against the Redskins. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Thanks, Kurt. And Vince Young now surpassed by Cam Newton as the Panthers lead the Redskins. So Ted Larson moves over to play center. And Derek Hardman, number 73, enters the game at left guard. 2nd down and 11. Empty backfield for the Bucs. Freeman, quick release. And Winslow unable to hang on. Boy, for the Bucs today, they lost Ernest Graham in the 1st quarter. As we take another look at this last pass with Larson now in at center.
And guess where that blitz came? Right at the new center, Ted Larson. So a good call right there by Rod Marinelli. Let's go test out that center left guard area. We just got 2 new players in there. See how good they are with their protection rules. Not very good. You had Brian Urlacher right in Josh Freeman's face.
Penalty markers prior to the snap. It's a false start against the Bucs.
False start. Offense number 65. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
That's Jeremy Trueblood's 3rd penalty today. We mentioned earlier, led the league 2 years ago, had not committed a penalty all season over the first 6 games. 3 today.
It's been a tough day all around. You mentioned the injuries before that last play, and those have piled up on Tampa Bay today. You know, struggling a little bit with their penalties in the first half.
They've lost 2 starters on both sides of the football this game. Graham and Zuta on the offensive side.
The question was about the spot. The spot is correct. It is 3rd down and 16.
The spot is correct at Mason Foster and Tanar Jackson defensively. So 4 Bucs who started this game out with injuries.
See Ted Larson there making the calls now at center.
With Larson snapping to Freeman. Bucs set up the screen to Lumpkin on 3rd and 16. Takes it out to the 35-yard line, and Buccaneers once again will punt following the 10-yard pickup by Lumpkin.
I wouldn't be surprised if really Josh Freeman's going to start to control a lot of the protections now moving forward in this game. Even though he's a young guy, he's really picked up this offense well, and you're down to your 3rd center. So you might have Josh controlling a lot of the protections the remainder of the game.
Kanan punting from his own 24. Hester reverses field. Penalty marker is thrown as Hester is tackled at the 36-yard line by E.J. Biggers. Did a lot of running. 19 yards on the return, and a flag back at the 20-yard line.
Pretty impressive for him to get out of that group initially.
During the return of the kick, illegal block in the back, receiving team number 52. This penalty be assessed, half of distance to the goal, first down.
Ryan Ewu, the guilty Chicago Bear, with 2:19 remaining in the third quarter here in London. Bears leading 21-5. Bears with 164 yards on the ground today. Matt Forte, 19 carries, 128 yards. And a Chicago touchdown. Bunch formation to the right. First and 10 from the 10-yard line. Roy Williams gain of 6. We check in once again. Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Jets trying to get a little closer to San Diego. Mark Sanchez hooking out with Plexico Burris. Burris' second touchdown catch of the day makes it a bit closer. 21-17 right now, late in the third quarter. Kenny Moose and Goose.
All right, thanks, Kurt. So a 4-point lead for the Chargers. Bears leading this game by 16. Second down and 3. Forte tackled from behind by Michael Bennett. No gain.
A good hustle by Michael Bennett on that one. You put your two big tight ends over to his side, and then he just reads it. He recognizes that it has been handed off. But watch him here. He's just going to chase as the two tight ends move that way. Gets in the hip pocket of Matt Spaeth. Check quarterback first. Once he hands that ball off, make the play.
Third down and 3 for Chicago. Butler under pressure from Bennett on third down, throws it away. Good series for Michael Bennett.
Really a good season for Michael Bennett. Yeah, he's been very, very consistent with his pressure. We've seen him several times today on hustle plays in the run game. That time he's moved inside, playing kind of a defensive tackle position. They got Dakota Watson on the outside.
So Adam Podlesh will punt it away. Preston Parker peek for the Bucs. Fair catch called for by Parker at the 41. So good field position for Tampa Bay. We take you back to 1986, the American Bowl here at Wembley. There's the fridge. William Perry, a legend in London at the time, scored on a 1-yard plunge. The Bears would defeat the Dallas Cowboys. And Perry would wind up in London 10 years later, signing with the London Monarchs of the World League in 1996. Bears won that game 17-6. First time an NFL game was played outside the United States.
One of those huge personalities on that Chicago Bear team. It was really embraced in the UK over here after that game.
From the 41-yard line, Lumpkin brought down by Charles Tillman. That's the 14th play Tampa Bay has run in the second half, and they have a grand total of -2 as far as yardage on those 14 plays.
They got to find something to go and give Greg Lumpkin some kind of a break, Darryl. You know, we talked about Luke Stocker maybe going in the backfield as a fullback to get some max protection in there, but you know, let alone playing the whole game for Greg Lumpkin. I don't think he was going to thought he was going to see a lot of time today.
Here's Mike Williams, makes the catch in Bears territory. Slipped, but he did pick up a Tampa Bay first down at the Chicago 46 as time winds down in this third quarter. 14-yard pickup. The first down of the half for the Buccaneers. Will the Bucs get the snap away? They do not. Third quarter comes to an end from Wembley. A Marion Barber touchdown early in the third quarter. Bears increase their lead. It's now 21-5. We get set for the fourth quarter here in London. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. Bears led 7-2 after one quarter, 14-5 of the half. It's now 21-5. Buccaneers on the move. First and 10 from the Chicago 47. Freeman over the top to Lumpkin. And and Lumpkin will pick up the Buccaneers first down to the Bears' 36-yard line.
That was a nice play right there. You know, a lot of time, you know, you're checking downfield, and Craig Lumpkin stays in, helps out, you know, make sure nobody's turned free to the quarterback, and it releases late, and you've created this huge void, you know, from you all the way down to the linebacker level.
Just got a word on Jeremy Zuta with a knee, and he is questionable, guys.
Thanks, Goose. Ted Larson still in at center. Pass over the middle for Parker. Preston Parker gains 8 and a flag. Late flag is thrown as Parker takes it to the Chicago 29.
It's a good hustle play by Anthony Adams, but they might get him for a late hit.
At the conclusion of the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit, number 95. This penalty be assessed half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
You're exactly right, Darryl. Anthony Adams.
And we've talked about Tampa not running to the ball. Chicago, that's part of their defense too. And, you know, Anthony Adams hustles all the way down the field and just gets there a little bit late as Preston Parker's down.
First and 10 from the Bears' 14. Off the fake to Lumpkin. Freeman looking for Winslow. It's intercepted. There is a flag. Urlacher with the pick. Penalty marker back at the 21-yard line. And the ball came loose at the end of the play as well.
I don't know if anybody reads quarterback eyes any better than Brian Urlacher, Goose.
Yeah, he does, man. He's got the lateral movement that just makes him so effective. That was amazing. They had 8 guys in the box. He reads pass, drops out a little bit, just reads that ball, looking right at Josh Freeman's eyes.
Tony Correnti and his crew. The pass was picked off by Urlacher, and a flag was thrown as well. And then Urlacher fumbled the ball at the end of the play, so a lot for Tony to sort out.
Personal foul in Chicago. Looked like the flag came out, you know, right at the same time as the interception.
There was an interception on the play followed by a fumble recovered by Tampa Bay. But also in the play, there was a personal foul driving a face mask by Tampa Bay prior to the interception. The Chicago Bears have opted to accept that penalty, 15 yards from the previous spot, first down.
So because that penalty took place prior to the interception, Bears accept the first penalty.
Well, you weren't kidding. He had a lot to sort out, Kenny. Josh Freeman's got to be smarter in that situation. I mean, Kellen Winslow was not open.
So the Buccaneers will maintain possession.
And the personal foul was face mask. See it right there in the middle of your screen for a couple seconds. Ted Larson.
Chicago is challenging the ruling on the field of a fumble.
Yeah. Watch at the end. Brian Urlacher's knee looks like it's down before the ball comes out. So the knee looks like it was down before Derek Hardman knocked that ball out. The big question is, does Brian Urlacher have possession of that the whole time? Was it starting to come out before his knee hit?
It was ruled a fumble on the field initially, so there must be indisputable visual evidence Tony Correnti taking a look. And in case you're wondering, all of the replay equipment used both on the field and up in the press box has been brought overseas from Tampa, from the Buccaneers' home stadium.
Darryl, I don't know if they can overturn this because the three views that we saw, the replays, really doesn't show when the ball came out and when the knee hit at the same time.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what Kenny said. It was originally ruled as a fumble on the field.
And then Lovie Smith threw the red challenge flag. Lovie just 1 of 8 on challenges over the last 2 seasons. So the question will be if Tony Correnti decides that there is indisputable evidence that shows that Urlacher's knee was down before the football came loose. Our NFL rules analyst Mike Pereira is back in Los Angeles. Mike, we say hello to you from London. What do you think when you look at this last play?
I'll tell you, it's one of the more confusing plays I've seen because of the face mask call. If they in fact rule him down with the knee being down, then that face mask penalty is going to be tacked on from that dead ball spot. And Chicago will keep the ball at that point. Very interesting. Looks like the
reviewing the play,
knee
the
might be
Chicago
down.
player was down by contact with no fumble at the 17-yard line. However, there was a personal foul by Tampa Bay that will be added to the end of the play. Therefore, the ball will be placed at the 32-yard line for Chicago, 1st and 10 at the 32. Would the game clock operator please reset the game clock to 13:51. 13:51, and Chicago will not be charged with a timeout.
We thank Mike Pereira. The explanation from Tony Correnti. The Bears win the challenge. Urlacher with his 3rd interception of the season and the 3rd pick for the Bears defense today.
Well, you weren't kidding, Kenny, when you said there was going to be a lot for Tony Correnti to sort out on that play. Both times.
It was amazing that Urlacher made that interception in the first place.
Just a bad decision by Josh Freeman. And you know, you've worked so hard to get your team down the field. You finally establish some rhythm. And if Brian Urlacher doesn't intercept it, I think it was Chris Harris playing the safety spot. I think he's going to intercept it in front of Kellen Winslow.
So following the 3rd Tampa Bay turnover, Cutler's pass intended for Johnny Knox, Rondé Barber on the coverage.
And Jay Cutler got stepped on as he came out from underneath center, and that impacted his throw a little bit on that play.
It's amazing how much Jay Cutler is going to the receiver that Rondé Barber is covering, and seeing Rondé Barber playing different positions, playing cornerback, playing strong safety, playing will linebacker. He's been all over the field, but it seems like they just keep going at him.
Bottom of the screen matched up here with Johnny Knox. Cutler off his back foot, and his pass is intercepted by Corey Lynch. So the Bears give it right back. Lynch in for the injured Tadar Jackson with his 1st interception of the season and the 3rd of his career.
Well, here's the first bad decision by Jay Cutler this afternoon. You're going to get pressure coming in from the right side, and he just floats this one into the middle of the field. Matt Forte gets up too far inside. Again, it's Michael Bennett, you know, applying the pressure, and you can't make that throw. Unfortunately, you're just going to have to take that sack. You just had a call go your way. The last thing you want to do is give it back to the Bucs. Look at the coverage behind. I mean, Gino Hayes is all over the receiver.
So a reprieve of sorts for Josh Freeman from the Bears 21. Freeman a pump fake, hit as he throws, caught by Williams, who takes it down inside the 15-yard line for a gain of 7.
And here's a situation where you miss an Ernest Graham or you miss a LeGarrette Blount because you can't run the ball. Yeah, Mike Martz is, yeah, it's just, I mean, you coach it, you talk about it, you show it, you can't make that decision.
I think he has another pencil. 2nd down and 3. And Freeman's pass is broken up. Terrific defensive play by Tillman, who reached in front of Mike Williams.
You know, right now, if I'm Tampa Bay, I'm going to start working the outside of the Bears defense in the passing game. I mean, you just got picked off by Brian Urlacher in the middle of the field. You had Chris Harris moving up on that play towards the middle of the field. Let's start working a corner route.
Big play coming up. 3rd down and 3. Bunch formation to the right for Tampa Bay. Freeman looks right. Now he throws, and it's caught for a first down at the Bears' 2-yard line by Mike Williams.
Now we got to give this one to the Tampa Bay offensive line, because they give Josh Freeman the time to let this bunch develop. Number 19, Mike Williams. Look how hard he's working. That is a long time before Josh Freeman is able to throw this ball. We'll give that first down and completion to the Tampa Bay offensive line.
So a new set of downs. 1st and goal from the Chicago 2. Lumpkin in the backfield. Freeman looking end zone. He throws. Touchdown. Kellen Winslow.
Now, I'm not a big advocate of going for 2 points at this stage of the 4th quarter, but the way my offense has played today, I don't know if I'm going to get many chances down here. And if I can make this a 1-possession game, I'm going to take my best shot at it. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for Kellen Winslow matched up one-on-one outside. Young safety Chris Conte's had a nice game today. Again, that's a tough call. That's tough duty to match up there.
First touchdown of the season for Winslow. Only a 2nd catch today, and now the Bucs will go for 2, trailing by 10. Try and keep this a 1-score game. Freeman to the end zone, incomplete, intended for Williams. Tim Jennings on the coverage. But Josh Freeman hits Kellen Winslow from 2 yards out. First Buccaneers touchdown today. Early 4th quarter, they trail by 10 after missing on the 2-point conversion attempt. Back in London with the Bears leading the Buccaneers by 10.
We got 12 men on the field.
Tampa Bay kickoff.
Well, at least this time he has some clothes on.
Now let's go back and take a look at that 2-point play. Lance Briggs comes up on Greg Lumpkin. The big thing is Brian Urlacher buzzing from the inside out. I mean, it was really well done. And here's the outside. So he's buzzing out to that slant. That forces the low throw, and Mike Williams can't go down and dig it out.
In case you're wondering what the commotion is about, and Goose alluded to it, 76,980 terrific fans here at Wembley, and 1 idiot. So security has taken care of that situation.
I'll tell you what, he ran pretty well. Tampa Bay could use him on offense.
Not the type of 12th man we're used to seeing back in the States.
Yeah, not really.
Goose, you didn't try and chase him down?
No, Kenny. Those days are over.
I know security at Stonehenge was concerned on Thursday. They thought one of the prehistoric stones may have wound up back in New Jersey in Tony's backyard.
I was just shocked that it was closed. Who closes Stonehenge?
I knew we were coming. Speaking of coming, here comes Devin Hester out of the end zone. And he is forced out of bounds by E.J. Biggers at the 13. 10-point game here at Wembley. Point game here in London. Bears lead the Bucs 21-11. Portion of the Buccaneers faithful in attendance as the Bears go back to work from their own 13. It's Austin at 14. Wants to cut it back inside and gain 6 out to the 19-yard line.
Well, our trip out to Stonehenge, Tony talked about it before. We were out visiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and how many times do you find yourself just an hour away from one of the amazing wonders of the world? So we headed out, and Tony, unfortunately, when we got there,
it was close. There's a bunch of rocks in the middle of this field. You can see it, and we're outside the fence. 2 security guys. I don't know. If I owned that place, it'd be open 24 hours. There's 200 people out there with us. At 20 pounds a person, losing some cash.
Bruce would find a way to sell some souvenirs. Second down and 4. Here's Forte. Stopped about a yard shy as we head to Los Angeles and Kurt.
Calvin Johnson doing it again. This time off the play fake. Matthew Stafford hooks up with his big man. League-leading 10th touchdown reception of the year for Johnson. Atlanta has added a field goal since then, but right now it's a touchdown ball game in the fourth quarter. Falcons holding on 23-16.
Lions coming off their first loss of the season last week to San Francisco. Detroit 5-1. Third down and 1 for the Bears. Just under 11 minutes remaining. Barber in the backfield. Takes the handoff from Cutler and is stopped. Adrian Claiborne, the first Buck, in on the tackle of Marion Barber, along with Frank Ocamp.
That's a critical snap right there.
Looks
I'd
like
rather
that.
have Matt Forte out there in that situation. Get Matt Forte out on the edge again.
They do a good job. The defensive lineman right inside, going and stopping right at the line of scrimmage. The backers come in to clean up. But I agree with you, Darryl. You talked about it earlier in the third quarter, where they were really dominating the edges on Tampa Bay, and now they decide to go up the middle. I think where their strength is.
Podlesh punting from his own 12-yard line. Parker had some trouble with it after he signaled fair catch and then hangs on. So good field position for the Bucs. There is a flag. A late flag has been thrown following the 32-yard punt by Podlesh.
An eligible member of the kicking team downfield prior to the kick, number 32. Tampa Bay has opted to take the penalty when the kick ended. First down.
Terrific field position for Josh Freeman and the Bucs when we return to Wembley.
Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
Ten-point game here at Wembley in London, with the Bears leading the Buccaneers 21-11. Best starting field position of the day for Tampa Bay.
Been able to flip field position. Chicago's enjoyed it the entire second half here. You wonder now who's going to be fresher in the fourth quarter. We've talked about the travel schedule of each of these teams. The Bucs coming over early, the Bears late. Will they have more gas in the tank here in the fourth quarter?
This is Michael Spurlock, who takes the handoff from Freeman, and the wide receiver fires downfield, intended for Williams, and it is broken up by Chris Conti. Spurlock played some quarterback in college at Ole Miss, and he took that handoff from Freeman. Some trickery from Greg Olsen.
I don't know if I would have thrown this ball, Darryl. Looks like those safeties back in the backside did not fall for this at all.
Well, maybe just from a matchup. When you run a play like this and you've got somebody making the decision whether to throw the ball downfield or not, whether it's a halfback pass or a wide receiver pass, normally you tell them, unless it's wide open, tuck it and run. But looks like they felt like they had a good matchup with Mike Williams down there.
Now on 2nd and 10, Freeman a pump fake. Now he throws, and there's Winslow. Kellen Winslow, first down Bucs, gain of 14.
You can't let Josh Freeman have that much time to move around and work the pocket. Kellen Winslow is going to find a soft spot. Starts on the outside, breaks it inside, and just sits down right in that little soft spot.
There's another one for the offensive line.
With Ted Larson still in at center, Goose, for the injured Jeremy Zutop. Derek Hardman playing left guard. New set of downs for the Bucs. 9 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. Bears lead by 10. Penalty marker as the play clock hits 0.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
I think Josh Freeman thought he got rebumped to a new play clock. He's motioning to Tony Correni. I thought you gave me a new play clock.
With some help from Brian Urlacher. First down at 15. Freeman to the outside, complete to Winslow. So Josh Freeman making his 32nd career start. He has a record of 17-14. Among those 17 wins, 8 comebacks in the fourth quarter and overtime.
He's shown great poise at a young point in his career, and obviously this situation calls for another one today. Great missed opportunity with that two-point play to have made this a one-possession game, but the Buccaneers got the ball right back, driving again right here.
Second down and 7.
Did he catch that?
He did not. Desmond Briscoe, the intended receiver. Ball hit the ground. Third down and 7 upcoming.
Well, that's the difference right here. When Josh Freeman has time and doesn't have time, he has to throw it on the backside. It was close there, but the ball hits the ground. You see it right here.
It was close. Ruled an incomplete pass as the ball did hit the ground. Now third down and 7 from the Chicago 31. Freeman's pass is caught.
Great effort at the end of that.
Desmond Briscoe, he's made some terrific catches today, and he extends across our yellow line, which is unofficial even here in London.
Julius Peppers coming in. He and Donald Penn have been battling all day long. There's that game again, gets to the inside. So Josh Freeman's got Julius Peppers bearing down on him, makes the throw, but Desmond Briscoe with a great effort at the end of that to make sure they get the yardage for the first down.
5 receptions for Briscoe today. Freeman on first down, fires. There's Briscoe again. Touchdown.
Well, there's a part of the field that I've been waiting for him to attack during the course of this second half here. They've been going at the strength, and that's into the center. Desmond Briscoe is going to release to the inside at the top of your screen. Now you break to the outside, sells the safety back to the middle of the field. But again, we've had a couple of throws here in the second half. Got to give that offensive line credit. Josh Freeman holding that ball for a while.
Freeman with his second touchdown pass here in the fourth quarter. The extra point from Connor Barth is good. 7:17 remaining. It's a 3-point game in London. The Bears led 21-5 at the start of the fourth quarter, but Josh Freeman has thrown 2 touchdown passes in just over 5 minutes. One to Kellen Winslow, and the other to Desmond Briscoe, who's caught a career-high 6 passes today. His first touchdown of the season. Johnny Knox on the return for Chicago. Knox brings it out to the 28.
Let's go back and take a look at this touchdown to Desmond Briscoe. The key here is going to get Chris Harris to move. Desmond Briscoe's coming from up here. He does it with his move to the middle of the field. Watch him as he looks like he's going to break to the post. He gets Chris Harris to turn his hips, and then he's able to get to the outside. It was a nice sell by a young receiver being patient at the top of the route.
Makes it a 3-point game. So now the Bears, who have been struggling on offense their last 3 possessions, 2 3-and-outs and an interception. There's Forte. Burst out to the 35-yard line for a gain of 6.
Just so impressed with his stop, start, change of direction, patience. They need to lean on him on this series right here. They've got to get their momentum back. Tampa Bay has stolen it here in the fourth quarter.
Matt Forte with 143 yards on the ground. That is a new record for an NFL game here in London. Brandon Jacobs of the Giants, 131 back in 2007. Second down and 4. Cutler to a wide open Devin Hester. Rondé Barber brings him down, but not before Hester gains 15 at a Bears first down.
It's a tough assignment for anybody. We know how elusive Devin Hester is in the open field when he returns a kick. And look at the separation he's able to create between Ronde Barber and himself on that play. Makes it an easy throw for Jay Cutler.
New set of downs for the Bears as we hit 6 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. Buccaneers with a pair of touchdowns here in the fourth to pull to within 3. Butler's pass is short, intended for Matt Forte.
The Buccaneers are lucky that Matt Forte didn't get his hands on that one, Darryl. They had it all set up, 2 offensive linemen to go and lead them down the field. A lot of green.
Yeah, credit that defensive line, though. They were able to get the pressure on Jay Cutler and affect that throw.
2nd and 10 upcoming, 5:48 remaining. There's Bears offensive coordinator Mike Martz. Two tight ends set. Cutler on 2nd down. Cutler fires downfield. Williams bobbled in and made the catch for a Bears first down at the Bucs 35. 15 yards from Cutler to Roy Williams.
Oh, you got lucky there. You normally don't get 2 chances to make a catch in the NFL, and he's got Buccaneer players around him. Ronde Barber actually collides with Aqib Talib, or I think Aqib has an interception here on the deflection, or at least is able to challenge him.
Ronde was looking for it as well. 4th catch for Williams. He has a touchdown. Cutler calls timeout, or at least he tried to as the play clock is winding down.
67. 5-yard penalty remains first down.
False start, right guard Chris Spencer. 5:03 remaining here at Wembley. Coming up tonight on Fox, Game 4 of the World Series with the St. Louis Cardinals leading the Texas Rangers 2-1. Albert Pujols joining Babe Ruth and Reggie Jackson as the only players with 3 home runs in a World Series game. Pujols doing it last night in Game 3. 1st and 15 following the Spencer penalty. Butler, quick release. How about Matt Forte? Takes it all the way down inside the 10, and he is finally brought down at the 4, a 36-yard pickup.
This is just a great play design right here. They turned Matt Forte loose. Don't pick up the blitzer, just release on your route. Pressure's going to come from the top. With Michael Bennett, they have the outside routes coming to the inside, create like a natural pick, and you get Matt Forte out on the outside.
Great block downfield by Dane Sazembacher. Let Matt Forte go and get another 6 or 7 yards.
So Forte, who led the league through the first 6 weeks in total yards from scrimmage, has 181 today. Under 4 minutes remaining. 1st and goal from the 4. The slant intended for Hester. E.J. Biggers on the coverage.
You have to hold Chicago to a field goal here if you're Tampa Bay. You cannot let them score a touchdown. So they've got to find a way to hold this for the next 2 snaps. Be interesting to see what Chicago does here. Do you go back to Matt Forte and get onto the edges in the perimeter run game? Do you spread them out? Try and work your pass game? They're going to open it up, empty the backfield, put Sazembacher back there.
Bucs formation to the right. 2nd and goal from the 4. Cutler's pass all broken up, intended for Forte. Corey Lynch getting a hand on it.
Just got to be smart right here. You can't give up the points. You've got to make sure you get at least the field goal to force Tampa Bay to have to score the touchdown. Don't turn the ball over.
Forte in the backfield. Williams split to the right. 2 receivers to the left. 3rd and goal from the Bucs 4. Oh, and Cutler is taken down by Ronde Barber.
That is just some great instincts.
And now a late flag. Extracurricular activity. Roy Williams and Aqib Talib. Flag thrown after the sack. 27th of Barber's career. Most all-time for a cornerback.
At the conclusion of the play, personal foul, defense number 25.
Wow.
Struck his fingers into the face mask of his opponent. His penalty be assessed, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
That is unbelievable. That is absolutely unbelievable. Aqib Talib, you just really, really hurt your team. Rondé Barber makes the play, times the snap perfect, gets you the sack on Jay Cutler. And then you make a play like that. Now this started on the last play too. These guys were battling at the bottom of the field on the last one.
And we heard from Tony Correnti. Aqib Talib called for a personal foul, sticking his fingers in the face mask of Roy Williams.
Timeout, Tampa Bay. This is their first. This is a 30-second timeout.
So the Bucs use a timeout after a huge mistake by Aqib Talib, the young cornerback for the Bucs. The Bears, following that Rondé Barber sack, would have settled for a field goal attempt, but the penalty gives Chicago an automatic first down.
It's unbelievable. We just talked about it. If you can hold them to a field goal here, you force Tampa Bay to go down and score a touchdown. And yeah, the youth thing is gone. You know, I don't care about that. Aqib Talib has got to be responsible for his actions on the football field. He's cost his team dearly right now. He's going to force them to make another stand from the 5-yard line in to force a field goal, and it's unacceptable. You've got to play the game with emotion. You've got to play it with passion, but you've got to play it with intelligence. And he was very foolish in that play.
Especially as late as it was, too, Darryl.
And you know what, Goose? It carried over from the previous play.
After the veteran Rondé Barber made a huge play. And now Forte slowed down by Barber and then tackled at the 9 with under 3.5 remaining here in the fourth quarter.
That's the problem. The penalty, sorry to step on you there, Dow, but the penalty, you know, now all of a sudden they kick the field goal. Now you have 3.5 minutes. But now the Chicago Bears are going to run the time down. It's going to leave you your offense with less time to go out there and go try to march down the field and score.
You're absolutely right, Goose. And first, the Tampa Bay defense must hold the Bears on these next 2 plays. Second and goal from the 9. The handoff to Barber, and he is forced back by Geno Hayes. Loss of 2.
I'll tell you what, if this defense is played like they played in the last 3 or 4 plays the whole game, they wouldn't be in this situation right now. These guys are playing like possessed men out there.
Yeah, they just collapsed this side of the line of scrimmage where the play's going. Great pursuit from the inside. Geno Hayes finds his way through the whole maze of offensive and defensive linemen to stop it inside out.
2-second differential, so the Bears must run a play prior to the 2-minute warning. Third and goal from the Tampa Bay 12. The toss to Forte. Inside the 10. Knocked out of bounds at the 7 as we hit the 2-minute warning. So the Bucs defense, Goose was just talking about this unit. They hold the Bears once again following the Talib penalty. When we come back, Bears will attempt a field goal.
Football is a game of emotion, and you have to play it with emotion, but you also have to be smart about it. And Raheem Morris right there letting Aqib Talib know, you are so lucky that your brothers on that defense stood up for you and got another stop.
Bears ran 6 plays and could not get into the end zone after they had first and goal from the 4. Robbie Gould connects from 25 yards out. So the Bears lead is now 6 with 1:55 remaining here in London.
And that's amazing job by the defense. I mean, that's 6 plays starting at the 4, and what it does is it gives your hot offense the opportunity to get back on the field. Already 2 touchdowns here in the fourth quarter. The first to Kellen Winslow, a little stop fade to the outside. And then this one, great job by Josh Freeman stepping up, and a nice route by Desmond Briscoe. So Josh Freeman again, he's got 8 fourth quarter comebacks already in his career. Is he poised to have his 9th here this afternoon?
His numbers in the fourth quarter today, 9 of 12, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns and the 1 pick early in the quarter. As Goose said, the Buccaneers lost some precious time following that to lead penalty. Bears were able to run off about another minute and a half from the clock. Well, for those of you in the home markets of the late games, in a moment you will be leaving us, and we will be switching you to the start of your game. Kickoff scooped up at the 10 by Parker. Out across the 25. So Josh Freeman and the Buccaneers must go 73 yards in the next minute 50.
And that was a nice job by Preston Parker getting up and fielding that kick. That was one of those kicks that was going to wiggle itself all the way down near the corner, and all of a sudden you find yourself stuck inside the 10-yard line on this critical drive. But he wasted no time, jumped up there, grabbed it, just got what he could out of that return.
Tampa Bay with 2 timeouts remaining. Bucs start at their own 28-yard line. Freeman out of the shotgun. Moving to his right. Under pressure from Henry Melton. Throws it out of bounds.
Well, beyond the line of scrimmage. Second down.
One of the things that we haven't seen this defense do of the Bears is generate pressure with their down 4. And again, it's the twists up front. Henry Melton coming from the defensive tackle position, running that game. They're not able to pass it off. He's able to get pressure on Josh Freeman.
It is so hard when you don't play next to the guy and don't have your timing down with trying to pass those games up front for offensive linemen.
Second and 10 for Freeman and the Tampa Bay Bucs. And the pass is caught by Parker for a first down. Out to the 44-yard line.
You forget about that, Tony. We haven't mentioned it in a while, but you've got some different guys in that Tampa Bay starting offensive line right now. Jeremy Zutov filling in for center got hurt. Ted Larson switches from his spot at left guard into center. And then we've got Derek Hardman playing left guard. They've done a nice job here in the fourth quarter to give Josh Freeman the time against his Bears front.
From the 44. Freeman again with time, steps up and throws, and it is Mike Williams at the Bears 39-yard line. Another Bucs first down, 17-yard pass play. 1 minute remaining. Fourth quarter here at Wembley in London.
No.
From the Chicago 39. Freeman to the outside, out of bounds, looking for Williams.
One of the things that Chicago should think about doing right now also is maybe bringing an extra guy. Let's see if Craig Lumpkin is dialed in on his protections. Ernest Graham is out. He was filling in for LeGarrette Blount. We've had a lot of injuries in the course of this game that have impacted both sides, both teams here.
I totally agree, Darryl. Put a little pressure on the young guy, Craig Lumpkin. It hasn't been in there in protections. And an offensive line that's been banged up, like you mentioned earlier.
Second down and 10. Freeman under pressure, he spins away. Now he throws, and Parker was out of bounds. Pass ruled incomplete. So with 37 seconds remaining and Freeman getting back up off the turf, it will be third down and 10.
Boy, a lot of quarterbacks, it takes them a long time to be able to feel this pressure coming from your blind side, backside. Look at that spin out by Josh Freeman. I mean, that is just great natural feel for a young quarterback in the NFL.
Tell you what, Julius Peppers on the outside going against Donald Penn. Just a bull rush. Donald Penn's foot gets stuck in the turf. And Julius Peppers just brings the pressure.
Both Pro Bowlers last year.
Here's all you guys walked up in the blitz. We'll see if they test the protection.
Freeman on 3rd and 10. Freeman throws, and it is intercepted by DJ Moore. The 4th interception for the Bears, and that will put the exclamation point on a Chicago victory here in London.
All right, we talked about maybe challenging the offensive line with 2 guys in new positions and a running back stepping in and doing protection for the first time. So you walk up, your 3 guys right there, and then You're going to bring Peppers to the inside, and I think that that's probably what impacted this interception. You can't get the ball through. You may not have seen the underneath coverage, but again, you know, we talked about working the middle of the field against Chicago. That is their strength. You know, right now it's their strength. You know, get to the outside. Rod Marinelli is not going to allow you to attack the middle of his field.
Third interception this season for DJ Moore. Cutler takes a knee. And the Chicago Bears, who traveled to London, arrived on Friday, 4 days after Raheem Morris and the Bucs. They come away with the victory, raise their record to 4-3. Buccaneers drop to 4-3. Both teams with buys next week. Coming up, America's Game of the Week. Many of you will see the Packers and the Vikings. Others, the Cowboys and the Rams. Coming up after these messages, for Darryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa, Kenny Albert, so long.